What happens when you put lacquer thinner on the Philco? Good very early afternoon on a Saturday here, YouTube. I am back once more. I am fairly regenerated now after having a day of rest yesterday. I said very early afternoon. It's 12:08. So you can see on the other camera there, I have that's actually a gallon of lacquer thinner. The reason I have a gallon and it's never been opened is because when I did my Buick, the top on the Buick, when Kylie painted that, we bought that and mineral spirits, and a gallon of each, and she has used the mineral spirits but not the thinner, so this one hasn't been opened. So I plan on, and I'll show you this again, taking a swipe at this real quick. I know it's not ventilated in here. I'm in enclosed space, but I'm not going to sit here and breathe these fumes for long. So I just wanted to show you that I was going to do that. So I just watched Bill's video on the Bendix Last Chance on it. I don't know why Bob hasn't replied to you, Bill. I don't understand that, but maybe he just doesn't want it and doesn't want to say it. I don't know. I guess, whatever. But anywho, that's that. On the comments about me, I left you a comment and told you about my problems as well, so I do know where you're coming from, and I sympathize. I do, but the thing I don't understand is why in the world do you torture yourself? I don't understand that at all. I mean, that would be sheer torture for me to go out and buy something like a radio at a flea market like that, and with the hopes that you could work on it, and then come home and find out you can't work on it. And I would think that would just be sheer torture. I couldn't do it. I don't know how you're able to do it, but you do it. And don't get me wrong, I do appreciate the ones I've gotten from you. I mean, especially the Philco. That was a nice radio, or is a nice radio, I should say. And it's going to make a nice project for me. So, no, I don't see well enough to do the work I used to do as well. I take my time, and that's what I do. One of the downfalls of that is you lose interest in it, and that's what's happened to me over the course of my different projects that I've done, because I set them up and I something else comes along and it's interesting, it's new, it's exciting, whatever, and I tend to go do that. And it's not that I don't want to do the other ones, it's just that new ones take their place. And that's a stupid thing for me to do as well, but I do it. Like I say, I understand why you buy these radios and stuff, but it just, I don't know, just something about it. I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on that. Like I said, this is all about the lacquer thinner, or lack of the lacquer thinner. Greg, the guy you were talking about on the video, Bill, he's been replying or commenting on my videos as well, and on this Philco, and he said to use this in combination with the mineral spirits. Makes it doesn't evaporate as much, and he said something about using fine steel wool, but I think what I'm going to try is the I never can think of the name of it, the Scotch-Brite. I've got some of that. I think I may try that and see if that does that, or does work for it like I think it will, and maybe go ahead and just try it real quick and see what happens. And that's my plan. I'd like to have a little bit of this into a smaller container, because it's obviously too big to handle in here, and I really didn't want to bring a whole gallon in here to mess with it. I thought I had a smaller can of this, and I was just going to go out there and get it and bring it in here and do that. But what I'll do is take and put a little on a rag, and we'll rub down that piece and take a look at it and see what happens to it. So stay tuned. Alright, what we got here is got some lacquer thinner on here, and I'm going to take and rub this down just a little bit, see what happens or doesn't happen, I guess, as the case may be. And I also have a piece of Scotch-Brite, which I'm going to rub a little bit on. And that does seem to be taking it off, as you can see, I think. You know, I'm sitting here talking, and this is, you're not even looking at what I'm doing. Anyway, here's the, what do you call it, the lacquer thinner. Put that back on there again like I had before, and then I'm going to take the Scotch-Brite and rub off a little bit more of that with this. This seems to help a little bit. It does seem to come off pretty easy. So you can see I'm going to go ahead and put a little on this directly and see if that works out. And try it that way, just to give it a shot. I'm going to let that sit a little bit. I know this stuff evaporates pretty quick, but I want to close the lid on this. Get that off to the side and use this again on it. See how it works. I believe it's taking it off pretty good. I believe. Getting kind of sticky feeling, you know what that sticky feeling I'm talking about. So I'm not really sure that's doing what I want it to do, but it's doing something. We do know that. I think what it's done is taken the stain that's on there, or whatever finish is on there, and just sort of spreading it around is what it looks like to me. But you know, it doesn't really look bad. So, you know. You can see there's some spots there on this here that has not come off. A little more wiping on that. But anyway, that, you know, if nothing else, it does make it nice and even looking. And it actually has a nice smoothness to it there. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to proceed with this. I may try another round of this, but outside, because the fumes are getting pretty heavy in here. Although I have closed it up and moved on. But so anyway, that's a look at what the lacquer thinner does. And I'm going to have to go back now and make up my mind on what I want to do with it. Like I said, that doesn't look bad. Now, I don't know. It's probably a little damp, not damp, but you know what I mean. It's got, it hasn't actually all dried yet, so I think I might go ahead and leave that sit a while and then come back in later and try another round with that Scotch-Brite and a little more lacquer thinner and see what that does to it. Because that seems to have at least you can look at it now and you can see that it's a lot more even. You know, before it had these big spots like this, and now it doesn't seem to have those. So anyway, that seems to have taken a little bit of a care of it. So a little bit of lacquer thinner on there yet. But like I said, I'll probably go ahead and just, you know, let this sit a while and come back in and work on it again. And I'll probably go ahead and make a, you know, see what it looks like on that. And I may do another part of this, I don't know. I may just do this and be done with it because, like I said, I don't want to stay in here long with these fumes. I know they're not great. So, anywho, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see ya.